Hey guys, this is Kami Ken, and have you ever met somebody who still had some light in their eyes? Somebody who still looked like they had a dream and were trying to follow it, but may have gotten lost somewhere along the way? I actually met somebody like that recently at one of my warehouse jobs that I was working. He was actually one of the leads supervising us, and he looked like this guy might have done something in the past, like done something very interesting in the past. Not necessarily famous, but something where it took some life. Like it took some living to get done. And I asked him, hey, what were you doing before? Actually, I don't even think I asked him anything. I think he just mentioned it to somebody else he was talking to. And he was talking about how he used to be a musician. And he used to play music in another town near where I live. He used to play music professionally as a bass player. And he'd go all around, make his money, play in different bands, play in tours, do all that. And yeah, he was doing it professionally and he was living the life. And I asked him, well, you were doing it full time before, and he was doing it full time before, he confirmed. And I asked him, like, what made you switch to working here with me? Like, well, why are you in a warehouse now with me? And he told me he had kids, he had a wife, and basically he needed to get right with reality and start working to make money to support his family. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And he said he was still playing music professionally and still playing gigs every once in a while, but the warehouse job had become his main gig. And I asked him, were the children intentional? And he said, no, I was married already, but then the children just sort of came along the way, and that was that. And I asked him, like, well, do you think it was worth it? Like, was it worth it to have the kids and live the life you're living now versus when you were on the road and playing gigs and playing music professionally? And I thought that he would say, oh, 100% it was worth it to have my kids and to settle down and do all that stuff. I thought he would just jump right into it and talk about, like, give the usual spiel, like, oh, yeah, I love my kids and all that stuff. But he took a while to answer. It was like he slowed down for a second and he was thinking about it. And he told me, I love my kids. I would die for my kids, and I would kill for my kids. But I've had to sacrifice everything for the life that I'm living now. I had to sacrifice all the tours, the money I was making, the freedom I had, and now I make money in this warehouse. And I play gigs on the weekends or whenever I have free time because I'm supporting my family. And I thought, well, it's great that he's supporting his family. But does he really, what does he really want to do? He still had life left in his eyes, and that's where it came from. From when he was doing things on his own and not really having to answer to a boss, just working and playing his music like he liked. And I'm not saying it's impossible to find happiness in a situation like that. I'm not saying that at all. Doing music for a living is difficult enough in itself, and you have to get to a certain level to be able to play professionally and get paid for it. But when I asked him, like, if you could have made a full-time living from making music, why not just pursue that? And what he told me was, it gave me even more of a fire to work harder. He said to make it in music and be full-time at it and make it so that you actually get wealthy from it or rich from it. He said that you have to play at such a high level and be in the right kind of band at the right time to be able to make that type of money. It's not just a matter of playing the best in the world, but you have to be in the right place at the right time, have the right personality, and be working constantly to improve your craft. And I thought, I need to be putting in that level of work on my comics. It was sobering. I remembered, like, I have to keep putting in that level of effort on my stuff so I can make this work. To end off the story, and this is actually a few days later, I'd actually prefer to live a much simpler life without this curse of ambition. But because I believe that it's 100% possible to enjoy and live a simple life with your family and not be chasing after things that seem impossible. It would actually be a much simpler life. But I choose this because I know it's possible. My soul believes it's possible. And it's the only way for my soul to grow. So I keep making the choice to dive further into this medium, into comics, into this career, out of the delusional belief that I can make it happen. And I'll talk about that more in another video, but for now, I'll tell you guys about the comic that I am currently working on. It's my latest webcomic called Saintly. It is a demon chase horror action comedy about two best friends who have to outrun the demon loan sharks that they borrowed money from. It's a combination of Scooby-Doo and K-pop Demon Hunters. And the story backs the main character into a corner where she has to decide between the hard path to success or lose her soul to the lure of easy money. We get to see the ramifications of her choices and whether she can hide this from her friend or if this dance with the devil will tear them both apart. So I hope you go ahead and check that out in the link in the description below, and check your spam folder just in case you don't see the email right away. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.